So, turkey calling. I'm not a real big turkey hunter. I've only been a few times, but I really enjoy playing with turkey calls and trying to make the sounds of turkeys. And I've been hunting a few times and I've really enjoyed it. It can be very addictive, as most turkey hunters will know. Once you start turkey hunting, you can become addicted to it, obsessed with it. So what I want to do is just kind of talk a little bit about turkey calling. So what I'm using here is this. It's called the Double Dead. It's made by H&S Strut. And as you can see here on the back, there's a little bump. See that bump on the top? That bump goes down into the back of your mouth. It sits on the roof of your mouth, goes to the back of the mouth. And then you're going to press your tongue up against this, the reed here. And you're going to force the air through between your tongue and the reed in bursts. And what I'm going to do first is what's called a cluck. It's kind of like when the turkey's walking around and he's just, it kind of almost sounds kind of like a chicken clucking, but it's a turkey. And the way I do that is I kind of make a blip sound, a blip, blip, blip. So I'll do that right now. And a lot of times you'll hear a turkey purr, and I just roll my tongue. I take my tongue, I press it up to the top of the roof of my mouth, and I go, and they'll do that a lot after they make a cluck. So you got the cluck, the purr, and then the yelp. The yelp is kind of like the turkey when he's, or she, I'm sorry, when the hen is wandering around. I don't know exactly what it means. I've heard a lot of old timers tell me it's kind of a locator, like, hey, I'm over here, or hey, where's everybody at? Kind of like this. That can be 2 licks, 3 licks. It can be 15 licks. There's no real number of how many licks, but the cadence is pretty important. Okay, so that's a yelp. And sometimes the turkeys will get really excited. Sometimes they get angry with each other. They get mad. They get afraid. They get nervous. Something happens. It really stirs them up. They get really excited, and they'll do what's a cackle. And it'll sound like this. I don't know if it's a warning call or if it's a get away from me call, or it's I'm mad. I don't want you in my space. I don't really know, but I've heard them do that when I've been out hunting. And you can do those calls. If a gobbler hears that, you know, you might get a sound. And sometimes if you see a gobbler, and if you got your Jake set out there and he's not really showing a lot of interest, you can teach yourself to gobble with the diaphragm. I messed around with it today, and I actually taught myself how to gobble. And what I do is I kind of press my tongue up and I hit the licks like I'm doing a feeding duck call. Which, if any of you guys ever play with a duck call, it kind of goes tick, 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 tick. I just do that with the call here. Now, I'm not really good at gobbling, but I'm going to give it my best shot here on camera. That might entice a gobbler to come over. One thing I've learned, too, is if you've got a lay-down hen, lay her down, put the gobbler on top of her. And if it's a Jake decoy, you know, your decoy, put your Jake decoy on top of your hen decoy, and watch how fast those longbeards come running in. So okay, so you got your cluck, your purr, your yelp, cackle, and then the gobbler. Practice. I'm not a big turkey hunter. I just started playing around with these diaphragm calls, And I enjoy it. Today, this morning, on my way to work, I actually saw some walking around in the woods, and I pulled over on the side of the road, rolled my window down, called at them, and they greeted me with a gobble. So good luck. Get out there and enjoy the outdoors.